Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Come on in, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. My name is Thomas the Human Bard, and I am joined today by...
Mercy the Tiefling Wizard.
Onog the Half-Orc Barbarian.
And I'll let you guys choose the bit that I introduce myself with.
Are you going to give us like a selection of is this
No,
like a
like at an
choice?
improv. Like, you know, you guys give me like each of you give me something like I need like a grocery store. Okay, like an adjective, anyone or
Your
something?
leg's on fire.
That's not
My
an
leg's on
adjective.
fire in the grocery store. Oh no, you have
Flaming.
something?
And you have to buy tampons.
Okay.
That's priority
hi.
number one when you're at
Yeah.
work.
All right. So, okay, we got those things ready. And hi, I'm being the Rock Gnome Rogue, and I just got back from the grocery store where my leg was on fire. But luckily, I bought those tampons I needed.
Great,
Oh
thanks
my
for
gosh,
letting
that's
us know.
incredible.
On this episode...
All that time! For nothing!
Look,
On this episode, we're discussing something that some have said should not exist and is a very abomination to the gods themselves.
sure.
I think we could all pretty easily agree that the worst quote unquote multi-class in D&D is a barbarian wizard, because none of the stats line up. You can't cast spells while raging, and you can't rage while casting spells.
Sure.
So
And you
none of
can't
it.
concentrate on
Are we going
spells
back
either.
to our roots and like reviewing something that's very bad?
No,
or is
we're
it...
reviewing something wonderful because
Nice.
someone has found Frankenstein like a way to cobble together this abomination in a way that gives it life.
I kind of feel like this show as a whole is very chaotically aligned.
Yeah.
And
Oh, for
some of
sure.
the more lawful in the TTRPG community, I feel like
Would
will
not
just
like
be
us?
so upset when we like things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Look, you better come to our show ready to be happy and ready to like things. And if you're not happy right now, that's okay. Take time. We love you.
Honestly,
I-
that was such a good subtitle for the show. I loved that.
I just saw the PDF.
On this episode, we're discussing
This
a
is amazing.
barbarian path for barbarians that want to gain the power of spell casting.
Oh, wow.
But not really. This is by this is from
This
user
is-
I hope this works 5. Or I'm sorry, I hope this work 5. And
Oh.
posted to the subreddit r/unearthed arcana. This is the barbarian path of mage.
so
Path of Mage! Exclamation.
I'm sorry,
It's
yes,
like-
path of mage.
So it looks like your classic barbarian trope type character has gotten a hold of like
A box of crayons.
a box of crayons and like torn a page out of like the D&D handbook and
the
has like
player's
tried
handbook.
to make their own edits.
Correct.
That's like the vibe
Or
here.
just some doodles as well.
Hey, if
which
you're
is
not
fun.
looking at your phone or whatever, just look down at it real quick. Isn't that great? Okay, I just
Was
wanted-
that to the traveler?
Yeah.
That was the-
just
Oh, I thought that
traveler.
was to us, and I was
No,
very confused.
no,
I was
I-
like, no, I'm recording a
I
podcast.
just thought it was funny that we were like describing what it looks like.
Mercy, what if they're watching this on a laptop and then they looked at their phone and
if
away
And
from the
they're so confused.
they're-
Like I still can't see it.
Broadcasting this on a 70-inch LED television in their home in the Midwest.
Who would do
in
that?
4K?
In 4K.
What if we were
We don't even
shooting this
upload in
into
4K.
this? What if we were shooting this into the sky like the bat signal?
Yeah, we're broadcasting this on the side of a skyscraper.
And I told him to look at their phone. I feel so stupid.
What if they're
Gotta
listening on a
think, Mercy,
gramophone and it is the 1800s and they're like, what the hell is going on? Because there was a time rift.
I'm
and
sure
they're
they'd
hitting
have
this
plenty of
podcast.
other questions anyway. So let's get into the barbarian path here. The path of mage. Times have changed. Magic no longer belongs to frail old robes. You, as a barbarian, can untap the true magic within your own body. Muscles. Each flex generates enough heat and energy to burn the air around you.
Oh,
A swing
wow.
of your fist can scorch your foes. Each leap can send you flying. So their first
That's amazing.
first class ability here is spell casting, which is misspelled. Spellcasting.
Spellcasting with one L.
Spellcasting.
Spellcasting. When you reach 3rd level, you become a spellcaster, capable of controlling quote unquote magic. Air quotes. So this is where it would normally say refer to chapters 10 and 11 for spellcasting. Here it says you don't need to refer to chapter 10 or 11 for general rules of spellcasting.
You're not gonna need that.
Oh, that's so good.
Spellcasting ability. Strength is your spellcasting ability for your mage features. You use your strength modifier when setting the saving throw DC for a mage feature. Your spell save DC is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your strength modifier. Your prepared spell routine. Nowhere does it talk about how you prepare your spells or what that means for this class, other than in this section, which is,
great.
I suppose every day you have to prepare your spells by doing one of the following. Roll a d4. Your options are bench the party, swim up a waterfall, crush boulders, or 100 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and a 10-kilometer run.
I love
Okay,
it.
one of those
It's so
one of those
anime.
takes a lot longer than the other.
One of those is also doable.
Yeah, if
Number
you're like
4,
somewhere without a
people do that.
waterfall, I feel like you're kind of screwed
Yeah.
on
Well,
that.
that's why you've got options, you know?
You've got options.
People do number 4 like all the time. I've been watching people do number 4 in Tokyo for like a bit.
True.
There is no swim up a waterfall competition
Events
in the
in the
Olympics,
Olympics.
but there should be.
So, let's get into the actual abilities, because that's all fun, but this is where it really kicks off.
Oh wait, that ability doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't.
Mechanically, no.
Look, we're
There's
having
no
fun here.
mechanics.
Don't refer to chapters 10 and 11, okay, Onang?
Look,
Just wipe that from your mind.
Think like a barbarian. Think like a barbarian. Come on, get in the mindset.
Tap into your primal
Isn't he
nature.
a barbarian?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Rage to mage.
All
Starting
right.
at 3rd level, when you go into a rage, you also go into a mage.
You go into a mage?
No, a mage.
That's dangerous for the mage.
You gain the following benefits while maging.
This is so good.
Burning abs, you gain resistance to fire damage.
Nice.
Quote, burning hands, quote, your fists light on fire. Once per turn, your unarmed attack damage dice changes to 1d12 fire damage.
And you do already have resistance to fire damage, so the fact that your hands are on fire
You're
is
okay,
not
you're all right.
a problem.
Spontaneous combustion.
And then, quote unquote, fly. As an action, you can leap your walking speed in both height and distance, provoking
that.
opportunity attacks as you leave your spot. Choose an unoccupied space within your walking speed to land. When you land, you force all creatures within 5 feet of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, so you do like a Donkey Kong smash.
On a fail, they take bludgeoning damage equal to your strength modifier.
Oh, I love it.
Love that. That's awesome.
And that's,
I mean,
yeah.
the vision of you being like, and now burning hands, and the wizard in your group is like, that's not
It's not burning hands.
That's not burning hands.
Exactly. I cast fly! And then you just jump very high.
That's so good.
And when you come crashing down, you get to split out some damage to all creatures within 5 feet. It's like, yeah, sure, I could just attack those creatures, but I could maybe hit, if I do this right, 4 or 5 skeletons if I try hard enough.
So you're doing feats of strength that you are just calling
Yes.
magic acts.
Calling spells.
Well, but then, the fists do light on fire, though.
They
so,
do.
what?
Which brings a good question into, can the barbarian control
You are just so
the
strong
fabric of
that it makes
reality
it
somehow?
happen.
To be fair, in D&D 5th edition, you kind of have to go out of your way
To not be
even in the
magic.
barbarian
Yeah,
subclasses
really. To
to,
not do
find
magic.
someone who doesn't do magic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing an Ancestral Guardian in, another campaign, and there's so much magic for me to deal with, and I was like, I didn't come here for
I
this.
didn't want to do magic. I didn't want to summon ghosts.
All right, what's the most important spell for every wizard? Of course,
Fireball.
Fireball.
So
Lightning.
at level 6, quote unquote, fireball. At level 6, your fly ability increases in strength, just as you do. When you land using the fly ability, you deal 2d12 plus your strength modifier fire damage in a 10-foot radius instead.
Nice.
Sure, you're burnt as well, but what's important is that you taunt those wizards who don't dare cast fireball centered on self.
And
Yeah.
that's why you have
Yeah.
resistance to
So
fire.
it does mean you're still
Yes.
getting, because that was my question, because resistance doesn't mean that you are impervious.
No, you take
so
half
does your
damage.
fists. when your fists light on fire, you are still hurting yourself.
Well, not
I don't know if mechanically
not
you
explicitly in the
No.
way this is worded.
Well,
but,
and also you're raging, which also halves your damage, so it's pretty much
no,
negligible.
it just gives you
I would
resistance.
encourage
So they wouldn't
everyone
stack.
to where the sentence was, you don't need to refer to chapters 10 or 11.
Yeah.
You should refer to just sort of all like anime protagonist montages
Yes.
for general rules of spellcasting, so that whenever something like that comes up, you can just remember like not to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, you can refer to Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography book, Pumping Iron, I think is what it's called.
I'm sorry, does he accomplish these activities
Yeah.
in the book?
Oh, you've never seen it?
Oh yeah, you've never
I've
met
seen the
Arnold
book, I just
Schwarzenegger
haven't
as
read
he
it.
flew through the air in a ball of fire? That's classic Arnold.
Oh no, I thought we were talking about the autobiography, or not the autobiography, but the documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I cast fly on myself.
That was a very nice. Thank you, Pete.
That was.
What was that? Was that your Vin Diesel impression
I was
again?
I was about to say that was my Vin Diesel.
I didn't know we had the Jarl of Whiterun as a guest today.
Oh, you're finally awake.
But I'm laughing too hard. I couldn't say
All
my
right.
own joke.
Flew too close to the sun.
Yeah. The next.
Your fly.
Quote unquote flew too close to that quote unquote sun.
The next ability here. Counter spill, quote unquote. Starting at level 10, you recognize when a puny spellcaster is casting a spell. You can use your reaction.
Does that mean you are unaware of when people are casting spells before that?
I would imagine even if they're like subtle spelling, you get this.
You just know. Yeah.
You
just know,
Yeah,
okay.
it's inherent to you. You can use your reaction to make a melee or ranged attack if they are within 60 feet of you. You can use any weapon for this attack against that creature, even if it lacks the thrown property.
Yeah.
If you have a free hand, you can pick up a throwable object as part of this reaction.
Yes.
So you're like, well, okay, but how does that counterspell? On a hit, they take damage equal to your strength modifier. If the spell level is equal to or lower than the damage they took, they must make a concentration check as if they are concentrating on a spell. On a failure, the spell fails and has no effect.
That's a great way of handling that.
I actually really like that mechanically. Like, that's kind of wild,
that's
but
very
it's
nice.
it's
So, but
cool.
you're slapping the wand out of their hand.
Yeah,
they
you
like
throw
are
a
like
rock at them or whatever,
Yeah.
and they take like 3 damage. And if the
Yeah.
spell they were casting was level 3 or lower, they have to make a check to see if they get counterspelled or not. But I like that it's not only like anything around you, but obviously your weapons too. But
Yeah.
even if they lack the thrown property, you get to make this attack, which just I enjoy the like idea of your greatsword getting to be thrown at
Yeah.
an enemy every once in a while.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
and-
how just absolutely reckless everything about this
Yeah.
character is.
But it doesn't say that you can throw your weapons this way all the time. It just says that you can only
when you use this
You
reaction.
don't suddenly become able to javelin your sword at people. But when you notice somebody is about to cast Hold Person, you just go "Ah!" and like throw your sword at them,
It
and it just
inspires-
conks them on the side of the head, and then they stop. You know.
It inspires within you such disgust at their
Yeah.
spell casting that you are emboldened to act. Yeah. It's great.
I do like that they say that you can, as part of the reaction, like pick up a rock and
Oh,
throw
yeah.
it, because
Yeah.
very often you run into that kind of thing of like where the DM's like, actually, you don't even have anything to throw, and you're like, come on, like
That was a
gotta
very
say-
bad impersonation of me.
That aspect of the action economy has got to be one of my like top 10 least fun rules to care about while playing
Picking
D&D
things up and putting them
personally. Of
down.
like, well, I mean, you already picked that up, so you can't put that down. I'm like, that's not fun.
But you could become unstoppable if you could pick up infinite rocks in 6 seconds. Just think of the ramifications here.
I also really like this. I like this because at first I was gonna feel bad because I was worried because whenever there's a class ability that is basically a feat, I kind of feel bad because it's like, well, what if you wanted them to take that feat? And the feat this reminds me of is Mage Slayer.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, if you are within 5 feet of someone and they cast a spell, you can make an opportunity attack. If someone's concentrating on a spell and you hit them with melee weapons, they have disadvantage, and stuff. So this is very evocative of that. However, because this is so kind of extra out there, it does still kind of very synergize with Mage Slayer, because it makes them make a concentration check, which if you had Mage Slayer, they would then make it disadvantage, and stuff like that.
And you
That's a
use
good point.
both of those abilities like in different ways. It's sort of a similar tool. It's like you have a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver.
Well, it's like basically
they do different
this
things.
if you have Mage Slayer, this gives you more instances in which you can trigger the main Mage Slayer ability, which is not bad.
Which is, it's pretty sweet. And it's
So
like...
while there is some kind of clunky interaction with it, it still synergizes a decent amount.
Yeah.
I like that, like you had said, Onog, this is... It's a mage barbarian, quote unquote, but really it's very good at killing wizards.
It's a very anti-mage barbarian.
Yeah. Because it
the
can,
good
like,
stuff.
your wizard is at the back of the group, while it just jumps over the group, crashing into the wizard like a meteor, and then when they try to cast a spell, punching them in the face and saying, no spells for you.
What's so good about it is that it is the most frustrating person that any actual mage could ever interact with, because they're constantly like, oh yeah, I know fireball.
I'm a
Oh, like I
wizard.
can cast
Yeah, I know
fly. And then it's not that. And then mage is like, no, you're not a wizard. You're not
That
doing
one-
it. And they're like, yes, I am. And then also they're very good at killing you. Like you're like, no, I'm a real wizard, see? And then they just like punch you in the face and they're like, it looks like you can't do magic.
It's that one friend you have where, like, Mercy, you went to, like, school for film.
Yeah.
And when you talk to somebody else who's like, oh, I know about films, I've seen some. And you're like, no! They think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. It's so frustrating.
But then they're like, well, I shot a movie on my phone. And you're like, okay. And then you look at the movie and it's good. And you're like, no, but you just shot this on your phone. It's a
like-
flip phone.
it's somehow
it should
like-
not be good.
It's somehow revolutionary.
and then
you're
they
like, "Damn,
throw the phone at you every time you
try
like,
to make a film.
try to make a film
Okay,
and it
all
hits
right.
you in the face.
Okay, let's do the capstone ability here.
Do you want to see my movie? Punches you. Like,
The capstone ability here is, quote, wish.
I
Of
like
course.
that the wish crayon has an exclamation point for the eye. It's a nice touch.
At level 14, 3 whole levels before spellcasters, you gain access to wish, but wish is in quotes.
It is inherent within this class to be like, we're better, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So good. Okay, there is a small typo here that I will just mention. It says now, however, magic is a pickle creature.
It does look like there's a pickle drawn on the side, though.
I
don't-
know.
So maybe
but-
that's on purpose.
Yeah, but I mean,
the barbarian
a
who wrote this
fickle
can't
creature,
spell.
a pickle
That's
creature.
so funny.
It's very funny.
That's very good.
Magic is a pickle creature. It limits what you can wish for. I hope you're all ready for this, by the way. You aren't, but I hope you are. You
I'm
can use
buckling
it
up.
in the following ways. Meteor Swarm, Meteor Warm, in quotes. You can take the fly action without maging.
Ooh, you just
okay.
leap everywhere.
When you do so, you can leap 10 times the normal height
Oh!
and twice the normal distance. The area of effect and number of damage dice is tripled to 6d12 plus your strength modifier and 30 feet.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I think it does imply that if you do this while maging, you don't do that.
It's
What?
No.
No, it's just saying you can do it without maging and it's better.
and
Okay,
also when
okay.
you do it, yeah. And we'll get to,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
worry, this doesn't mean forever. There's a limit later, so
Got it,
don't
got
worry.
it.
But this is, you get this big boy attack here. True polydwarf. As an action, you can make a grapple check on a creature. You can make a grapple check on a creature no larger than 2 sizes your own. On a success, you can crush its physical form into a painful posture, reducing its size by 1.
They're saying you turn it into like a tiny knot, like
No,
in Looney Tunes.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. You crush it by
crunch
one
them.
size. The creature is restrained and prone on the ground. The creature can use its action to break out of the grapple. On a success, all effects end. If you grapple this creature for 1 hour without it breaking out, its size is permanently reduced by one size.
It does say it's a painful posture. This is a lot.
It's Wile E. Coyote's head getting hit by
Yes,
an anvil, and
and
his,
he's, like,
and he's
stuck
just
in a
got his
little-
little waddly feet.
I was
popping
Just
going
out.
to say
little legs
Marvin the
poking
Martian
out.
getting
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
by a hammer. You know, similar.
Instead of casting True Polymorph to turn somebody into something small, you just crush
cast
them by
True
one
Polydwarf.
size.
You want
man.
me to uncrush? Incredibles 2.
True Polydwarf. Make them
Wow.
smaller.
Wow.
That is one of the more horrifying.
It
That's
is.
one of the more
It's like kind of body
horrifying
horror,
capstones I've ever
honestly.
seen.
That's like.
Like it's like graphic that your whole body's
So
just
what happens
crushed.
what happens if you use this on like a pixie?
They cease to exist, I'd imagine.
They become
Microscope.
a speck.
Yeah, they become a
amoebas.
singularity. Okay, the last
boy.
part of the wish spell here. Power
just read it.
Power sword kill.
Power sword.
Power sword kill. As an action, you can take your normal attack action against a single creature, and that's the end of it.
I wish that the sentence just
That's what
ended
it
there. It's like,
ended.
as an action,
That
you
would
can
be
take
so
your normal
funny.
attack
I mean,
action.
Now
isn't
your sword
every
can kill
attack
people.
a power
Yeah.
sword?
Add up. Okay, ready? Add up all damage from your attacks before the creature takes that damage. If that number is equal to or greater than its current hit points, the creature dies, regardless of if it has resistances, immunities, or temporary hit points.
So it is like a pseudo power word kill. It's just the number, instead of being 100 hit points, is variable, and you roll you know of the damage you would make them take.
Yeah, and it's like your normal attack action might have multiple attacks as part of it.
So
which is,
yeah,
This is
well,
like
at
a-
this level you would have 2 attacks.
yeah,
This sounds like a Magic the Gathering card, like the way that it
kind of does.
Yeah,
sort of
It's a
that's
little
right.
bit
It's
strangely
very-
formatted for D&D, but I get what they're going for, which is
No,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I think to me, I'm guessing that whoever wrote this had some MTG background because that's a very. Yeah, that sounds like a card.
Well, yeah.
Sure. But I like that it's like, yeah, it adds up all of your damage on your 2 attacks that you get. And before they take that damage, you check first. And you're like, is that more than their HP? And if it is, even if they're technically resistant to damage or like resistant to non-magic
immune,
damage
or
Yeah.
immune,
I mean,
or-
basically,
yeah,
the idea
they
is
just
like
die.
if this would kill them, if this should kill them, it does.
You make
So it's
it
interesting,
kill
yeah.
them.
On like normal enemies, this ability actually doesn't do anything. But on like god demon bosses or fiends or things like that, this does so many
if
things.
you're in like a lich's lair,
If you're in a
like,
lich's
nothing
lair
matters
and
here.
it's like the last round of combat and you just got one last hurrah, and you're just like, I know he's at 30 hit points, but he's immune to my damage type and everybody's gone, but I can power sword kill.
And I
mean,
think I
what-
can deal more than that.
I
in
think
my
I can deal
attack.
just
You're-
about 30 damage.
You're
Alright,
fighting
alright,
like
everyone.
a legendary dragon or a lich, and it's always so disheartening when you're like, oh, I do 37 damage, and then the DM goes, okay, write some stuff, and then is like, okay, he takes 2 damage, and you're like, oh,
Yeah. Mercy, what was that?
okay.
Let me
sorry,
take
Mercy.
you all on a journey.
Okay.
All right, just go with
Okay.
me on this.
Where are we
on this
going?
adventure.
Go with
Do I
you
need
on
to
this
pack
word
anything?
journey.
Are we leaving
So
the tavern?
you're a wizard.
Yes.
I'm clearly not.
Well, I'm not a wizard.
And I
You're a wizard.
nope. We're
No,
going
you
on
just
a
said
journey.
I'm a wizard,
I
so
asked
I
you
guess
to
I
go
have
on
to
this journey with
Go
me.
on the word journey.
Go on the word journey.
Okay.
You're a wizard.
Power word journey.
I'm clearly not. And I say to you, oh, I also know the spell Fireball. And you say, no, that is not Fireball. Let me show you real Fireball. I take off my shoe. I throw it at you. It hits you in the face. It interrupts your spell. You fall over. I run over there and I hog tie you with your own long wizard's beard. And you are now tiny
size
and
smaller.
cramped up on the ground. I walk up to you with my axe raised, saying, I will end you for this disrespect. And you say, fool, I am immune to non-magical weapons, and I can clearly see that that is a non-magical weapon. And I say, what are you talking about? It's a magic weapon. And then I show you where I have drawn in crayon a smiley face, and I say, do you not see the sigil?
It's a sentient
and
magic weapon.
And then I chop your head off with it, and
It works.
to your shock and horror, it somehow does work, and you do die.
Your last thought is, what?
Wait a minute.
This is great. I see
Mercy,
no
that was
problem.
a beautiful journey. Thank
That's
you
incredible.
so much.
The final sentence is, once you use your wish, you must take a long rest before using it again. I think you only
So
get
you
one
can
of
only
these
do
abilities.
one of these
Well,
three things
I
per
left
long
you
rest.
tied up overnight.
Oh, that's why you were...
Yeah, I came back the next day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
wizard is
permanently one
tied
size
up.
smaller.
Well, yeah, now you're dead.
In your tent.
And dead. yes.
And dead, yeah.
There is a fun note here at the end, which I just want to mention because I love the idea of it. Work with your DM to make more quote-unquote spells. Spells with permanent effects like True Polydwarf are up to the DM to include or rework. you're welcome to
I do
just-
love the permission. It's like, hey, feel free to homebrew this homebrew while you're
I mean,
homebrewing.
You could say, like, I cast Charm Person by slapping them.
No.
If you do enough damage... Oh, okay.
It wouldn't be Charm Person. It would be Harm Person.
Yeah, it's always gotta be
It's always got to be
person.
just wrong.
harm
Harm
person. That's
person.
so good, though.
And you walk up and you say, if I deal maximum damage to them, they are charmed by me for the next...
Ooh, I have.
But it's
I
not
have-
that they're
I have
charmed,
a-
they're terrified.
I have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
submission for a spell. I have
Yes.
a submission for a spell. Alter Shelf. You gain proficiency in wood carving.
I love that.
Oh, I thought you were going to
for-
say
for
you gain
an evening.
You gain the siege monster.
Oh,
I have a spell. It's called Chill Touch, and I touch you, and it feels like when you like drop an ice cube down their back. No, it is actually just me dropping an ice cube down your back.
No, I touch you and you mellow out, and you're like, I'm chill now.
Yeah.
We're cool. We're vibing.
I'm trying to think of more spells.
fold person.
That's very good, Onog. I like that one.
Oh boy. I'm trying to think of a...
It is just the effects of hold person, but it's just flavored that you are folding them in half.
Yes.
That's so good.
Okay, this one's called my voice is loud now, and then you just shout very loud.
But I have sparks.
You hit your axes together and they sparkle.
I have the light spell. Its material components are a match
torch.
and a torch. Yes.
That's incredible.
I can only target the
Well,
torch.
no, you could use your flaming fists to light, to light
Oh,
up
there you
something.
go. There you go. True. That's the subclass, everybody. I thought this was a really fun way to flavor a bunch of random abilities that, if in any other flavor, wouldn't make sense at all. But when grouped together like this, you read the whole story they're telling. You get what's going on here.
It's so good.
You feel the kind of character that you would want to be while playing this subclass.
I do love how this is like flavor-wise. This is the antithesis to the wild mage barbarian.
Yeah.
Somehow, because this is like
Yeah.
this is a barbarian that just
Has decided.
befuddles all wizards and all spellcasters, and while the wild mage barbarian is like, I am the spellcaster's best friend.
Okay, I want to
This
submit.
is the opposite.
I want to submit one more spell. It's called Mage Hand, and it allows you to make ranged, unarmed attacks.
Whoa.
Oh, I
So
like that.
when you punch, you like punch towards someone, and then they like go what, psh, and it's like they
air
feel the
tunnel it
punch.
creates.
Kind of like like the tattoos give you
A
like
little
they give
bit,
you like ranged.
but you don't
melee.
see anything. It's just it's Mage Hand, and while you're raging, you have it's small.
but it's like
a
you're
20-foot
punching so
range.
fast that you're compressing the air
How
out.
about,
yeah.
How about Magic Fistle?
Oh.
You make three unarmed strikes, they all hit.
How about Find Familia? And it just the strong bond of found family that you and
Dom
your party
Toretto.
have. You become immune to all forms of damage for the next 1 minute.
and
as
you
the
all
power
can
of
telepathically
family.
communicate.
As you believe in your family.
Exactly.
That's very funny.
As you experience a profound sense of belonging.
That's awesome.
I hate it. It's so good.
A homunculus. You punch someone so hard they turn into a homunculus.
Harmunculus.
Harmunculus. Or
If they are a monk, you
hunculus.
have advantage on your attack.
Hunculus.
More
a
like
hum-
hunculus.
Form homunculus. Yes.
No, hunculus
Form
is just
hunculus.
you're so strong that people are like, damn, you look really good.
How
And then
about-
they're like charmed by you.
How about braise dead, where you like
Oh,
where you use your
where's this
fire
going?
hands to cook up a dead body into a delicious meal.
what does that have to do with being a barbarian?
Braise.
You just wanted to say
That's
braised dead.
that's a racial spell for lizard folk.
Lizard folk.
Lizard
Yeah, it's
folk,
a,
yeah.
That's
racial
very
feat.
good.
What are some 9th level wizard spells here? Let's go all the way up.
yeah.
Time stop.
Okay, instead of Gaius, it's just Deadus, and you punch someone and they, like, you just tell someone to die. I don't know.
I don't. Very good, Bean. I like that one.
Thank you, Bean. Thank you, Bean.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I know you hate it, but I'm gonna pretend that you're telling the truth.
Prismatic fall. You throw someone off a cliff, and a rainbow contrail goes behind them.
Mass polydwarf. Oh no.
No. Oh gosh.
Blade of Disaster already
That's
sounds like a made.
Yeah, that one's just misinterpreted like counterspell.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's one I was considering for one of my wizards in the future.
Yeah.
Foresight instead of
Ooh,
foresight.
Yeah.
Thor fight.
Yeah, foresight, where you end the creature, the target creature. You have combat before combat starts. Like you go back in time and you fight them before the combat started.
Nice.
And if
you
you
could
win,
call it,
you come back into the fight at the normal time and they're
nice.
already dead.
you could call it sore fight, which is like a whipping your flirts situation.
Maybe.
Oof.
Power
Foresight.
sword heal? The sword just fixes them.
Oh, pain shift instead of plane shift.
Oh,
pain
Have you
shift.
just
Ooh,
transfer
that's
all
good.
of the damage from one character to another?
or gain shift.
Oh, gain. You steal all their muscle mass.
You steal their
You
gains.
drain their strength score by an amount, and you gain that much strength score for like X minutes.
Force cage match.
This can be the whole. We can
Force
just do
cage
this.
match.
The
Force
whole
cage.
Force cage match.
Force
You're
cage
forced
match.
into
You force
a cage match.
Yeah, force cage
I mean,
match.
there is already a spell
compelled
that does
duel.
that.
But it's a
called
cage
compelled
match.
duel.
Yeah.
No,
No, but it's a cage
But
match.
it's a cage match.
Oh no, I don't think you're understanding. It's a cage match?
It might even be
conjures
one
a
of those like
cage.
ladder matches with the briefcase
With like
at
the
top.
briefcase of
Yeah.
money or something. Yeah.
Exactly, correct. Yeah, this is just travelers. Thanks so much for listening.
We're
You can
gonna be
leave
here all
whenever you want.
night,
We'll be here
yeah.
for a while. Mental prison already sounds like a barbarian's just like life. You know what I mean?
Oh man, isn't life just a mental prison though?
You know. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed
Tasha's
this,
hideous slaughter.
oh, that's
Ooh,
a
nice. That's a
classic.
good
That's
one.
like a classic
That's
wordplay
great.
that would actually work
Good
really
one.
well. Thanks so much for listening, travelers. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like down below the video. And while you're down there, please subscribe to the channel for future Dungeons & Dragons Homebrew Discussion content. Mercy.
It's create undead, but there's just a crown cross out the UN. Just create dead.
Create dead.
dead. You just make them dead.
Oh,
And on
gust
that
of
note,
gust of wind.
You fart at that?
and by the way, make sure that you go give some love to the original post on this.
Yes.
Yes.
Click the
Yes.
link. They're always in the
Yeah,
description.
the link's in the
This is
description.
fantastic.
Give it
Go
some
check 'em.
upvotes.
Gus of Wind. Your friend Gus shows up.
And
He
he's
blows
very
in on the
fast.
wind. Yeah,
You
he's very
conjure
fast.
the air elemental Gus.
Air elemental Gus.
Gus
Who
of Wind.
He's your spotter
boy.
for when you work out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it.
I will just add at the end of this, we would like to just super quickly say, not all barbarians are like of low intelligence
Yes.
or anything like. You know,
Of
we-
course.
I mean,
This is a bit.
also, like,
I'm
you know,
saying that 'cause
barbarians aren't like a
Onog's-
real group of people, so we're not like.
Also, okay. If we're doing that, I take some exception at the calling out of the fireball ability. That about the wizards who won't cast fireball on themselves. I have definitely been controlling a wizard that cast fireball on
No,
himself.
oh no,
Fair
that's
enough.
because you play a wizard with a barbarian.
But you're a
attitude.
barbarian.
But you
I
have the
have a- I
soul
know.
of a barbarian.
Well, he was blinded, and fireball requires you to see the location you're casting it on, so he just cast it on himself.
Fair enough. If you have a homebrew you'd like us to discuss on the channel, please send it to us at our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, or on social media at thecopperfoxinn, or you can also comment it below this video. Please comment below the video your thoughts on this incredible barbarian subclass option here, and comment below with any feedback you have for us about the channel, things you'd like to see us do in the future. We've gotten some feedback already, and it's definitely, we're taking that into account as we make videos going forward.
Yeah.
Nice.
We appreciate you listening, travelers, and until next time, keep on adventuring.
Bye.
Bye.